Mhm.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time of the day you're watching this. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Papa Bear. I should probably have like a sound effect to have cheering or something like that. I'll work on that. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation, part of this journey. As usual, we're talking about fatherhood. We're talking about amazing interactions, amazing discussions around fathers, what we do, how we do things, how we can do things better, how we can learn from one another, and just how we can be exceptional fathers. That's really what Papa Bear is about. And I'd like to welcome a very good friend of mine, a good man. He's a good guy. We've known each other for quite some time now. Our families are friends. And I have my good friend Moses, who's a father just like me, and we go a long way back. So Moses, welcome to Papa Bear. It's your first time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I know my debut. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah.
Really nice to be here. Yeah.
Cool. And the reason I have Moses on the show is he wrote a very interesting article, a LinkedIn blog post a couple of days ago, just about this whole quarantine and how the coronavirus has changed our lives. Do you want to talk a bit about that, Moses?
Yeah, so I can. I mean, I put the post up on LinkedIn. It was really the result actually of a personal experience. I think I posted it yesterday morning. What happened is the night before, we were talking with my wife, and I just suddenly realized, actually, she was expressing to me that, and that was, I think, the title I used for the post. She was saying to me, it's like, you're there, but you're not there. You're here, you're working at home, but we don't see you. We see you less than we see you at the office. And that really got me thinking. When she said that, because I was like, hey, what's going on here? So I started to ask myself, how is my family perceiving me as I'm now working at home? It's going to day 10, working at home because of this coronavirus guidance, and suddenly I'm starting to see that, hey, what do the kids, what do my wife, how do they feel about my working at home? Am I a worker, or am I the dad and the husband? So that was the background behind the post.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I read it and I was so fascinated because I thought that's exactly what I'm experiencing as well. I mean, my work at present allows me to work from home. So, I've been working from home for some time now. But, just that whole idea of when the kids are home, what does that mean? It's not the holidays. This is actually like a normal working day. The kids ideally supposed to be in school, but they're at home. So it's a different dynamic. I found it interesting, just that whole thing. And I know you mentioned a few pointers or a few tips around what we as parents and specifically as fathers can do to sort of improve our interaction and to be more involved with our families at this time. So what were those? Maybe you can take us through those.
Yeah, and even just thinking back to your previous video, the last video you did, and you're giving tips about how to engage kids now that we're all at home. And it's interesting because I think especially for men, work is something that really draws us in. It pulls us in. It's easy when you're working at a physically different place, because you actually leave the house and you go to this place and you can get absorbed in what you're doing until it's time to come back home again. And you have this space in traffic or on your commute, whatever, where you can disconnect from either side. But in the house, you haven't left, so you're still dad, you're still a husband, and there isn't really room to disconnect. So and then at the same time, we're kind of all indoors because of the coronavirus scare. So after a while, you're going into the second week now. everyone's getting a bit stirred up, pent up, and we really have to kind of be more mindful of each other. So for me, when we had that conversation, it brought a couple of thoughts. First of all, is like, it's easy when you go away to work to be away, and the kids sometimes they call, or maybe with your wife. Sometimes maybe you speak during the day, but other days, you're completely away. Is that the same thing that should happen when you're at home? You know, I have here, you can see we have sort of a library, a home office.
Mm. I was going
Should
to
I be?
I was going to comment on how elaborate your setup is, man. You're making me look like I'm not a serious work at home guy. But anyway.
No. Actually, this is most of the kids stuff. The kids' books. I think I have a few books up there.
Okay.
But like in this room, for example, should I be shut up in here the whole day? The kids know that dad is home. And one of the first challenges to me was, hey, be available, be accessible. I don't have to be sitting behind the closed door over there the whole day. The kids can walk in. Let me be free for them to walk in, even for my wife to walk in, and just have a conversation, catch up on our days, etc. So that was the first thing, like just having an open door policy.
And doesn't that? I mean, do you feel like that sort of becomes a distraction? I mean, because kids, there's a level, and you know how sometimes kids can get a bit too in your space, and how do you then control it so that you're able to actually work? Because that's really what you're trying to do.
So it's again a balance, because we're all, like I was saying, we're all in the house together. Usually dads, we're all, if you're not an entrepreneur, or if you don't work from home, you're away like the whole day. So actually what is available now is a very unique opportunity to bond with kids. Obviously there are calls, meetings where you'd really want to have just the silence and the discipline, and you say, hey, I need kind of half an hour, I need an hour for this call, and they'll respect that. But I think the other thing is to recognize that, there are special connection moments that you can create. So my son walked in the other day, he's like, oh, Dad, so is this what you do when you're at work? And then I was like, oh yeah, so this is email, this is what I'm doing in this email, this is what I do. So it's just a chance there to begin to educate and connect with them more about our professional side, because a lot of times they don't see that side of it.
Okay. That's cool. And I know you mentioned that in your blog that someone was saying, Kumbe, I married let's circle back and talk about this kind of guy, I guess our work behavior, our work practices, our work personality is never seen outside of the office. So just this interaction this time is a good way for people to see how you really are in the office, how you are at work, how you work, what is your work flow, what does that look like?
And even what what do you do at work? It's a chance to educate the kids about careers, about what a meeting is like. The other day, I was starting a video call, and my workmates were on, and the kids came in. And I was like, oh, here, come and meet my workmates, because they've never really done that. So I introduced them, and they had a conversation, and then I said, okay, guys, I'm going to start the call now. And they left. And that was, also just also for my workmates, it's we're able to empathize and say, hey, it's not only about work. We're social at the end of the day. So it's just seizing that moment as well.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Those are, I think, a couple of other points that you had as well that to bring out. Yeah.
So I think one other thing was at work, for people who go into offices, you go there because of your employment contract. Yes, you have friends, but at the end of the day, what's taken you there is your job, the things that you have to deliver on, and their work relationships, professional relationships. And people relate based on those professional relationships. If I go in and I don't speak to anyone the whole day because I have a tasker, hey, it's fine. No one's going to, give me grief because I didn't really speak to them. But at home is really different. There is an emotional dimension to the relationships. I don't have my work colleagues here. It's my son outside the door. It's my daughter. It's my wife. And if they want to kind of find me, I can't just like I would do for a workmate, say, hey, I can't talk now. I think just recognizing there's this emotional dimension that's there. And I'm a steward of that. So yes, I'm at home, I'm at working, I'm at work, but I'm also a steward of these relationships. So this working from home situation, shouldn't mean that I should just be aware of that and kind of take care of those relationships as well. So that was the other thing. I thought was something to take note of.
That's very powerful. I mean, I think there's a lot of adjusting that we have to do in this space. I mean, for all of our working lives, we've worked in a very different kind of space. So this is a unique experience for everyone, I think. Even for some of us who work from home a lot, it's unique in the sense that you have to really be deliberate about fostering those relationships. I think it's powerful what you're saying, that we need to be stewards of that, because at the end of the day, we are fathers. That never changes. And I think work is a secondary issue to being a father. So stewarding that would be is critical. Cool. I mean, this is typically. Sorry. Go on.
No. There's a couple more things that I wanted to build on this. So, like just adding to that, at work we usually, you have your 8 to 5 or 7 to 4, 9 to 6, whatever. I think working from home, you have additional flexibility, so you can spread out those hours and say, if you're going to say, hey, I'm a steward of these relationships, why don't I don't have to actually work unless your employer requires that. I don't have to actually work that 8 to 5 exactly. I can start at 7, finish at 7, but in the middle, I'll make time for activities with the family, with the kids. So sit down, enjoy breakfast if you never get to do that. Help them do some of the schoolwork, because some of them they have work from school that they have right now at home. Do an activity or game with them. So create special moments, and you can do that by building your work day around those key family kind of needs as well.
It's true. It's very true. It's quite true. I agree with that. Makes sense.
And then maybe the last thing, just to wrap it up, and then we can talk was, it's just really a reflection to say, understand who you are in the workplace, and there are some behaviors you might have at the office which are not really appropriate for home. So if you're like, for me, I'm the kind of guy who easily gets zoned into my work, and maybe I don't want interruption. Is that really appropriate? An appropriate working style for working from home? Is not really. If you're the kind of guy who's maybe loud or shouts, if you can't be flexible, you have to finish it before you're interrupted. So it's just, for me, the post was really saying, think about any behaviors that you have that might be toxic, and how they're impacting family relationships.
Oh, that's powerful. I think we can extend the same also to the people at home, the kids at home, so they also appreciate the gravity of the work that you do, so they don't take it like, dad is home, it's holiday time, woo, let's just have a party and all that. They need to appreciate that there's structure to your day as well. And this could be a good opportunity to give them that structure, just to let them know, I'm not available at this time, I'm working on this thing. Please give me space to do 1, 2, 3, and also welcoming them at the same time. So it's really a balancing act. I'm finding myself having to do that quite a bit. I like what you say about just the toxic thing, because I'm also the type who zones out. I just get into the zone, I actually put on my headphones, and I can work for hours and hours and hours, and it's not really the right thing. So it's an adjustment that has to happen on both sides, on my side and also on family side as well. But it's something that all of us as dads need to be aware of and need to balance out.
Absolutely. I think it's all the more in this time when everyone is indoors because of the guidance that's there. You know, after a couple of weeks, everyone's getting a bit wound up,
Yeah.
and I think that responsibility to be there for each other's kind of mental and emotional wellness is getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think especially in this time, it's something that as dad, hey, I thought, hey, this is actually an important topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So thanks, man. Thanks for lending your input to this whole process. Thanks for being on the channel, on the show. I appreciate your input. Yeah, just I don't know if you have any parting shot for my audience, my growing audience.
Yeah, no, I've so realized actually this topic elicited quite a bit of interest, and even on your last one about the coronavirus outbreak, I feel like this opportunity for people to be confined at home is really magnifying the responsibilities and stewardship opportunities that, especially we as dads. So I think for this season, it's a really rich opportunity to kind of dive into that, see how people are navigating and managing some of those issues, and then hopefully coming out after this whole thing, we'll have stronger bonds, stronger relationships across the board. So yeah, looking forward to kind of sharing this out and talking more with the conversations that come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So thanks, Moses. Again, to my people, my audience, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned something new. As usual, if you have any feedback on this, please feel free to comment. I know Moses will put up this on his on the blog post. I'll put it up on the channel as usual. So if you have anything to say, you have any feedback, you have any direct questions for Moses, you can email them to me or directly to him, the blog post. And as usual, please like the video, please share the video, please subscribe to the channel, please comment if you have any feedback. And let's keep this conversation going. So thanks a lot. Have a good one. Let's keep this convo going. Yeah. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.